Mhm. We're coming to you live from the undisclosed location, the remote location. From here, I'm talking about on the hard line, the omphalos, the belly button of America. We're going to make the Havdalah and separate between the holy and the not yet holy. Ooh, I'm with Susie. She's going to lay down some good tales. And we're going to make the holy person lift up a light because the light needs a little lift. Amen.
When we prayed the Shabbos prayers this morning, I think I had a sense that though we were going to do our best to have a Shabbat of peace, a Shabbat of renewal, a Shabbat where, as the prayer says, Vayinafash, that our souls are renewed. I knew that around us that wouldn't be the case. And every once in a while, don't you feel how our time, our rhythms are not so in sync with the rhythms around us? I know there were protests kind of across the street from us today. I read that there was a group of children that marched for Black Lives Matter in Kirkwood, not a necessarily integrated place, in fact, very segregated, with Meacham Park, the other side of Kirkwood. And then, of course, there's the ongoing protests in Florissant, the town next to Ferguson. And then there was the art museum. And those that gathered in front of the art museum around the statue of Louis IX. Over
Louis the
over the controversy over whether or not the statue should loom so large in our city. Kirkwood is a great community. One of our dear, dear, dear sisters, Maggie Dewey, is on the city council. She was just reelected in Kirkwood. And I remember when the terrible shooting happened there, we lost those precious lives. The city of Kirkwood vowed to do its work and to heal in holy ways, and I know Maggie's been a part of that. So, the statue, I know for both Jim and myself, we've been talking about Louis IX for a long time.
Louis IX.
Never imagining that anyone would really talk about taking that statue down or changing the name of St. Louis. But the conversations that we're having now, the call for change that we're having now, is not going to be easy. And there are going to be sacrifices that are going to need to be made for the real change to happen. God forbid, after all of these marches and all of this protesting, God forbid we go back to business as usual, because business as usual, is what got us here, to a place that we know we can do better. So I'm grateful. I pray for the conversations, the courageous conversations, to be peaceful, to be deep, to come from a holy place. It's hard not to talk about today's Torah portion before we leave the Shabbat, where Korach questioned Moses. He said, Moses, why do you take on so much? Aren't all the congregation holy? Aren't all the leaders holy? Doesn't everyone deserve a voice in helping the people be the best they can be? Moses' response was to fall on his face, because he always was willing to listen, to be present in the conversation. But sometimes controversies are not for the sake of heaven. And this one was not. Korach may have said the right thing, but it wasn't for the right reasons. It wasn't about transformation for him. It wasn't about including the marginalized and making the table so big that everyone had a place. For Korach, it was about making a place for Korach. And Ray Slavin, who taught the Torah this morning, said, we know this because it says, Vayikach Korach. Korach took. It also says in the commentary that that word yikach can be translated a little bit differently as Korach, separated. So these are the tests for leadership. These are the tests for the controversies. Are they meant to bring more people to the table? Are they truly meant to give more people a voice? Or are they meant just to give another small group a little bit more power, a little bit bigger piece of the pie, without thinking about the most vulnerable, the people who are really suffering? And is it for division? Does the controversy depend on division, on pitting people against each other? Or is it to grow? Is it to grow a beloved community where people really are present for each other's pain? Where people really listen to each other and hear? I wish, instead of having their back against the wall at this point, that maybe the people who are standing for St. Louis would say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the hurt that he caused. I'm sorry for the hurt that you feel. Instead of just kind of digging in and saying, we're not going to listen. We're not going to hear you. Because until we do, there won't be solutions. Until we do, there will not be the systemic change that we are all sacrificing so much for.
V'yichvorechem dat levavi, Yiryahu Eliyahu Hanavi. V'yichvorechem dat levavi, Yiryahu Eliyahu Hanavi. Hamavdil ben kodesh lechol. Hamavdil ben kodesh lechol. For the distinction between the holy and the not yet holy. all the honor of my heart lies. Lichvodechem dat levavi, Eliyahu Hanavi, Elijah the prophet. Lichvodechem dat levavi, Eliyahu Hanavi. Hamabdi ben kodesh lechol ben kodesh Yisrael Shishet yemei hamasi Lichvodechem dat levavi Lichvodechem dat levavi Eliyahu Hanavi. On my right angel Michael, on my left Gabriel, in front of me the angel Uriel, behind me Raphael, above my head, Shekhinah. Lichvodechem dat levavi Eliyahu Hanavi. Lichvodechem dat levavi Eliyahu Hanavi. Mavdil ben kodesh lechol. Distinction between the holy and not yet holy. Hamavdil ben kodesh lechol. Between light and dark. 6 days and the 7th day. Israel and the nations. Hamavdil. Celebrate. Lichvodechem dat levavi Eliyahu Hanavi. Lichvodechem dat levavi Eliyahu.
So many religious traditions believe that there has to be a hitting of bottom for Mashiach to come, for the Messiah to come. That seems to be across the board. Even in Hinduism, it says that when there is a time of Adharma, that's when Krishna will be reborn. A time when there is utter emptiness, utter despair. And in Judaism, as we start this month of Tammuz, we enter into this time of these hot summer months. Eventually, the 3 weeks will take us to Tisha B'Av, the 9th of Av, the saddest day of the Jewish year. And that too is where we're told Mashiach, Messiah, will be born on Tisha B'Av, the saddest day of the year. That is where hope is reborn out of the ashes, out of the destruction, out of the utter sadness. I think maybe we build those ideas in so that just in case there's somebody out there who's feeling despair, feeling lonely, feeling like, oh no, are we going to have to shut down again? That our traditions, our rituals, our cycles are all there to raise us up, to remind us that we have tools, we have stories, we have lessons, we And we have rituals to raise us up, to lift us up. So the idea that Elijah never died, that he is still out there ready to visit us. When we have to let go of Shabbat, yes, it does feel like it just began. Time. It's funny how even when you're stuck, time is going quickly. It's like we just began Shabbat. We've been trying to do it outside like this because by the time we are done, it's dark. So I hope this Shabbat has lifted your spirits in some way.
אתה אדוני אלוהים מלך העולם בורי וליבך ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהים מלך העולם בורי מיני וסן Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Buri buri Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Hamavir ben kodesh lechol between the holy and not yet holy, between the holy and not yet holy. Baruch atah Adonai Hamavir b'chodechem da'at levavi, b'chodechem da'at levavi. Here comes Eliyahu Hanavi. I can see him on the corner, underneath the streetlight. I think that's him. I feel his approach. Anytime now. We are waiting. We are always waiting. If our waiting were rubies and jewels and diamonds, we would be rich. We're rich and waiting. We are patient, a holy waiting. Baruch atah Adonai Hamavir ben kodesh lechol. Between holy and the not yet holy, because within the holy, sometimes the unholy might rise, and within unholy, something extraordinary might rise. So much for our expectations. Baruch atah Adonai Hamavir ben kodesh lechol, ben kodesh lechol. Amen. Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu Hatishbi, Eliyahu Hagilavi, Mimhera b'yameinu Yavo Eleinu, Im Mashiach ben David, Im Mashiach ben David, Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu Hatishbi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu, Isaiah Tishbi. Let's try to make it a better week than it was last week. Oh, I don't know how much influence I can have on that because it was a pretty rough week last week in a meta sense. Still, my expectations are up. When you've been down so low, it's hard not to be drawn up. Ooh, send us a little good mazel here. You know we could use some. Make it a good week. Call a few people you haven't spoken to in some time. Pick up that 50-pound phone that you're carrying around in your pocket. Call a few people who could use a word of encouragement, especially someone you haven't spoken to in some time. Especially someone you haven't spoken to in some time. Pick up a piece of paper, a found piece, write down something fine, something you want to remember so you can carry it around in your pocket. Leave it on a bench, leave it on a place where it will be found. Leave something good, something fresh, something to seize into the future. We are taught that the creative response is inspired by the sense of smell that we invoke this evening with Havdalah. It may bring us some creative response. What it will take from us is a grand creative response for the future. Certainly that will see us through to the next phase. לכבודכם דת לבבי, ידיהו הנביא. לכבודכם דת לבבי, ידיהו עמדתי בין קודש לחול, חטאותינו ימחו. עמדתי בין קודש לחול, חטאותינו ימחו. לכבודכם דת לבבי, ידיהו הנביא. לכבודכם דת לבבי, ידיהו הנביא.
moon of Tammuz is growing in the sky. Tammuz for the Babylonian god. Do you know the story?
Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Asharim, Malachi Elyon, Malachi Harachamim, Mi Melech Malachi HaMalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Boachem L'Shalom, Malachi HaShalom, Malachi Elyon, Malachi Harachamim, Mi Melech Malachi HaMalachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu, Baruchuni L'Shalom, Malachi HaShalom, Malachi Elyon, Malachi Harachamim, Mi Melech Malachi HaMalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Tzitechem L'Shalom, Malachi HaShalom, Malachi Elyon, Malachi Harachamim, O angels of mercy, Mi Melech Malachi HaMalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Thank you, Sarah. I see your message about the wife of On and her disheveled hair and how it saved the day. So let us pray that we all have a Shavua Tov, a good week, a week of meaning, a week of controversies that are all for the sake of heaven, a week that we remember that how important all of this is, whether it's staying safe, protesting in the streets, having courageous conversations, whatever it is this week takes us to do. And it is Pride. It would have been Pride this weekend. Thank you for reminding us, of course. It's Pride. I think there's going to be some caravans or maybe some car parades tomorrow. How we miss our pride parades, and the official ones and the unofficial ones, the ones that push us even beyond the LG and B to make sure that we include the T. I taught a class to our littlest children on Friday morning. We had a little camp. And one of the tools I gave them in the toolbox was B'Tselem Elohim. Each of us, remember, are created in the image of God. And how do you know that? Because you see that glimmer in their eye. You see into the soul of everyone who has that light in their eyes. And then I told them, it said, male and female, God created them. And of course, the children understood right away that that meant that the first person was whole, was trans, was everything. And the rest of us find our way on the spectrum of gender. And may we continue to grow in our understanding and our acceptance and our celebration of all people, of every single one of us, and figure out a way that we can live together where everyone is counted, everyone is seen, and where the stories that we tell are true, as difficult as they may be, that we have the courage to look into the story of history and tell the truth about what happened then, so that we can do better today, and by redeeming the past, create a better future. So Shavua Tov, everyone. Have a good week, a week of peace.